I carrying the burdens? Am I co-creating with that person?
Mm-hmm.
Empathic. And then you go further and you go, wait a second, I'm not diving into their pain. Let me remove the distortions
Mm-hmm.
that is co-creating with that person because I
Mm-hmm.
feel that person, right?
Yes.
So like, because I don't want to be in that pain either.
Mm-hmm.
But then they've weaponized it to go, okay, you have to jump into the same, pool of pain that this person is in.
No.
Oh, why? You're just
Mm-hmm.
doubling the frequencies
Mm-hmm.
and then creating more pain,
Yes.
right? You have to move away. You have to that's again, it's not about not or helping people or not helping. It's literally about, am I co-creating with that person? If it is, what frequencies can I say delete,
Mm-hmm.
move out of myself so I'm not co-creating? And then you feel stable, you feel good. That person feels good as
Mm-hmm.
because you figured out for them how to solve their issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
True empathy, right?
Yes.
So,
Through empathy and yeah, through who you are. At the end, your essence is bringing them up and not you down into them, but for them into your field, into your
yes, absolutely.
consciousness. And Masati, how do you how do you teach this to? Because when you talk to leaders, no, they're very mental, no, like you were saying, they're very outside. So how do you ignite in them
Mhm.
this curiosity?
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy to have you here, Masati.
Well, thank you so much, Jeanette.
It's an honor.
Thank you. Um, yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be great. You can ask me anything that you want to. I guess a lot of people do.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But you know, here we have a conversation. It's a co-creation. There's no interview. There's only two people having a conversation, co-creating the episode.
Mhm.
I in the way I don't prepare for it, but I feel your essence and just give a if you have LinkedIn profile, I just go and read over it, but not the posts and uh, and just a little bit because I don't want to know much about
Mhm.
people that are joining. Just the energy that I know, and I know because of what I read
Yeah.
that you're super aligned here with me.
Yeah.
And but yes, there are no questions. They can come up because I will have questions, yes, me, but it's not because there's nothing is scripted, nothing is set. It's for us to flow in the now through the heart and have a beautiful conversation that is in another frequency,
Mhm.
and that it's the idea is that it positively impacts others and plants the seed of co-creation.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I can sense. I can see how you sense things and see things and feel things, which is nice. I
Yes.
Yeah, I help
Mm-hmm.
people do that at a um, Beyonce intuition,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, where you just are that that
Yes.
that identity that can sense what's around you or what's coming into you. So,
I
which
love
is
that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think a lot of times, especially in today's world, people have moved away from that and gotten more linear, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in their say success or living, and then they start to realize it's like, gosh, you know what, I missed out a lot. They might have done a lot of things. They might have, I have a lot of clients who are, high wealth clients, highly successful clients, but again, they feel like there's an emptiness within them, and
Mm-hmm.
then so where does that emptiness come from? Is because they left behind their true essence of who they are,
Yes.
right? Uh,
Yes.
yeah, a lot of leaders are like that.
Mm-hmm.
They've sacrificed everything for a physical goal, But then, why did they want to reach that physical goal in the first place? Right? To be whole, to be complete, to be unified. To like, although they might say they want to help society, but when they're broken, they're burned out, and then they use abusive or controlling means to stay at the top. It doesn't serve the purpose, and obviously it destroys them and their families. So it's a
Yeah.
whole way of, say, providing leadership.
Yes, it's the way you and I do it, or are, it's completely different. And I can feel, I love it because I'm just tuning into your energy. And it's really, really very impactful, very nice, very expansive, and really I'm connecting with you a lot. And I love that. That's
Yeah,
happening.
me as well, because that's again, I teach people to, say, expand into, say, their limitless self of who they are, the
Mm-hmm.
abilities of who they are, and then they can lead in that way. So their, say, genetic purpose gets fulfilled, so they
Mm-hmm.
don't empty inside, but then they can create, or they can lead with, better technologies that don't destroy the world. Because now, they have technologies that, they say it's smart technologies, but it's not so smart if it's killing the user off, you
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, or
Yeah.
destroying countries, or obliterating, you know certain cultures, and certain races and so on like that. It's Now they're talking about, gosh, we need 90% of the population. If they disappeared, we'd be good. And it's not about that.
No, not
They're,
at all.
yeah, and these are experts like, oh yeah, we need it. And they're not really experts. They just
Mm-mm.
call themselves expert, but they really don't know, what the truth is,
No,
uh, and they failed to be proper leaders. So they come to this conclusion. It's like, well, that's what we need, because we couldn't figure this shit out, basically. So this is our conclusion. And then, unfortunately, people, the masses, follow that.
yes,
So
because
not
they
just,
are the
yeah,
masses, many are in their heads still, no, living for the outside and not for themselves.
exactly, exactly. So
Mm. So I keep getting your your note taker and
oh,
input.
yeah, you don't have to put it on or anything.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to
It shows up. Yeah,
remove very quickly. Sorry,
yeah,
because it's
yeah. No worries.
remove. Okay,
Yeah, just
don't report.
on that.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, the like you were saying, no, at the end,
Mhm.
you and me humans, we humans are limitless,
Yes.
and we have so many capacities that currently we are limiting through that not knowing, or through, well, because of our mind and how we were educated and grown to look outwards and not inside.
Yeah.
And actually, our limitless is much more powerful than any artificial system.
True. Yes, absolutely. Um, yeah, and I think the problem too, Jeanette, is that, we've gotten into our heads on what science is.
Mm-hmm.
And, we think that this is the woo-woo stuff. Here, what you're talking about, feeling the frequencies and so on like that. But in reality, that's the science that's been, say, tested and tried for, gosh, over billions, maybe trillions of years, over
Mm-hmm.
the universal time, right? The way the universes work, the way, nature's has come to evolve to such, say, high level beings,
Mm.
where we can, like, create like humans. It takes a lot of science to create somebody or something like humans.
Yes.
And then, we throw that science away, and you go, oh, that's bullshit. That doesn't work that way. This guy's from Harvard. No offense against Harvard, but
Mm-hmm.
Harvard University studies this and that, and this is what we're supposed to believe in, and that's been around for, gosh, what, like 30 years.
Yeah.
And they think that's science.
No.
And so now, uh, in fact, I work with like quantum computers and AI, uh,
Mm-hmm.
field science. So back then, the woo-woo stuff, or what you're talking about, was considered woo-woo, and it's all bullshit. That's like witchcraft and magic, and in reality, the scientists couldn't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
go, we'll just stick with what we know here, because and they make up equations, mathematical equations, to fill in the gaps, by the way. Um, but now the field of quantum science, quantum mechanics, is literally understanding the unknown and the unseen, what I call frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, and frequencies are, this is where frequencies can, once we understand it, you can heal. You don't have to, have the same diseases as, society. um you can evolve, you can be successful without, say, sacrifice, uh,
Mm-hmm.
control, or destroying yourself. You can enhance who you are. You can be complete, you can love the way you're supposed to, again, without destroying yourself or sacrificing yourself. So again, in its trueness, frequencies are is the new, say, consciousness for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's for people to easier to understand
Oh, totally.
than any other. I don't know, when you talk about well, at the end, being who you are, or people don't understand because it's in their mind and they haven't experienced it. But when you talk about frequencies,
Yes.
there is a common understanding that the higher frequency, the higher awareness you have, no?
Right.
So it's a way for them to to start looking into that, no? The curiosity, and to start tapping into that, and then through that learning to be
Yes.
who they are.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And you know, you said some really good points. Like right now, people think linearly, one foot in front of the other, but nature doesn't really work that way. Again, it works more dimensionally, to create something, to co-create something.
Yeah, I like that.
We pull away from it. And then
Yeah.
also the education system, again, uh, we teach kids to think linearly.
Hmm.
Uh, in the US, the schooling method, although it's 2025, it hasn't changed for 200-300 years. What they teach, basically, this is the knowledge, you remember it, it's rote, you regurgitate it. you
Yeah.
know so again, the kids, who are, there's learning stages for kids like 0 to 7. They're very fluid, right? They're very fluid. They're three-dimensional, say, identities. They understand concepts way beyond linear processing or beyond parents, you
Hmm.
know. But then over time, when they hit school, it's like, nope, you're supposed to think this way. So something that's just massive, a conscious being that is, well, quite powerful. I would call it, the quantum computer. That's just unbelievable. It's just processed down into, nope, you got to think this way. So, then they put blinders on it. So by the time they hit their teens, right, it's like, what the
Mm.
hell? I'm nothing. I'm a shell of who I was.
Yeah.
They have these people, they're in their teens, they grow up, and then they have kids. So with every generation, we've literally dumbed society down, because that's what we think evolution is. So we devolve, and if you don't believe me, I mean, you could see the happenings of the world, the results of the
Yeah.
world.
Yes.
Simple.
Yes. Yes. It's very saddening, you know.
Yes.
But don't you feel, I see that lately I would say the last month, there's I don't know, a consciousness raising. There's
Yes.
more connection between people that are heart-centered, that are more
Totally.
who they are, and and not only well, the connection is like it's creating like a network of entanglement. I see this force that is stronger than
Yes.
it was before and last year.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what, we're all about, pioneers, like me, you, and, everybody else that's awakening, and again, I'm not religious or, in the religious way. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I
Me
just
neither.
source that, has the intelligence that creates this reality. But yes, so and that's all, again, science based, we're awakening basically, we're supposed to be going down this path, down that way, but like humanity again is veered off so much, you
Mm-hmm.
know and just and we're basically veering off so much. We've got two choices now. One, we could either go extinct,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and people are feeling that because, when people get pushed and shoved, they start to awaken.
Mm-hmm.
Start to awaken. It's like shit, something's happening.
Yes.
Um, so basically, what's happening is a lot of people are waking up and going, damn, we're going the wrong way. You know, we want to be our authentic self, our sovereign self here. So we're going, no, wait, the path is this way. So this is that awakening that you talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's an evolutionary process that can be, again, scientifically,
Then
it's not just, again, woo-woo stuff or
no,
anything.
no, it's all like
It,
quantum physics, and many things are measured nowadays. That it's not the woohoo thing
it,
anymore.
and in religions, they talk about, the meek shall inherit the earth. This is the time
Mm-hmm.
where people start to awaken, especially, after COVID or through
Mm-hmm.
COVID. Shit, what the hell are we here for?
Mm-hmm.
Doing, and again, it's not going back to caveman days. It's going back to our internal, say, advanced self, and
Yes.
then creating from there. And so people are awakening. And again, this is the meek shall inherit the earth, is literally people become their own, say, sovereign leaders, and
Mm-hmm.
they in rather than leading outside of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a great time for those individuals who are willing to take it.
Yes.
Lead. We have
Yes.
to take the lead. We can't just wait for a leader or somebody to show up and go, hey, this guy's going to lead us, or this person is going to lead us. And it's like, this time around, it's like, no, you lead your internal self, and then
Yes.
come together.
Yes. It's the self-leadership now, and being the change you want to see in the world in everything you do for yourself. And from
Yes,
there, you're leading inside out.
yes. A lot of times, though, when people go, well, you're the change, but most people, change themselves
Mm-hmm.
head centered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still, their identity of who they are. There are, genetic patterns that they're
Mm-hmm.
running.
Mm-hmm.
The next, say, version of their parents, really, right? Same diseases, the same way they age, the same, idiosyncrasies, genetics, hereditary patterns, generational patterns, societal patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then they go, well, I want to change. And then they try to change again from their mental state. They
Yeah.
change their psychology through self-improvement and, making more money. It's like, well, look, this is the change. And again, that's not true leadership. That's
No.
not true change,
Mm.
because you're the same person on the inside. You just changed, say, your clothing, your
Yeah.
attire. You know what I mean? So in this case, it's like, no, you need to change. You need to be a better, say, genetic version of, say, your parents. And again, we devolve. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
where this is where kids are getting more ill
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
young. So there is going to be a great moments, though, coming up for, for those people who are awakening to go, oh gosh, this is who I really am, and they
Mm-hmm.
can manifest. They can manifest pretty much, power. They can manifest amazing, say, technologies, that don't destroy. And they can manifest and control what I would call like space and time,
Yeah.
like you. So
Yes. Yes.
That's what I do is all about, optimizing the human within us.
Potential, no? The human potential within us.
Exactly.
Yes, yes, and once you discover that, yeah, there's no way back. And like you were saying, you start. No, we are creators.
Mhm.
We're inside out, and we are
Yeah,
co-creators because
right.
everything we have around the quantum field, everything, it's for us to co-create with, no, with
Absolutely.
people and with what we have around through who we are.
Yes. Absolutely. Um, it- uh, Again, people, they have the right intent.
Mm-hmm.
They do it from the wrong level of consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or the wrong definitions. For example, people want to love, people want to say share love throughout the world, and it's fine, but what's your definition of love?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you were born in a household that was, say, abusive love, your definition is what's important, right? So, if we really want to expand the world, right, uh, and evolve the world and really help humanity or save the world, right, we have to go back to what natural intelligence dictates what love is.
Mm-hmm.
Not about abuse. It's not about distortion. It's not about sacrifice, right? It's so I'm actually writing a book, Lexicon,
Mm-hmm.
that's coming out, and it'll be defining, what love is, what sovereignty is, what honor is, what success
Oh,
is,
wow. Nice.
all those things, because they need to be redefined.
Mm-hmm.
People go, well, do you believe in God? It's like, well, what's your definition of God,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Uh, do you believe in science? It's like, well, what's your definition of, is it something that some again, scientist goes, yeah, this is it, and then 10 years later, that same scientist goes, well, shit, we were all wrong. you know that's not science.
Mm-mm.
That's not science of the universe. So we have to redefine all those things to change society.
Yes, yes. Everything, all those words like love, you see it that a lot in marketing. Much has been banalized and labeled into
Yeah.
something that that's not it. And you know it when you live in from the inside out, you know that those are labels
Yes.
and nothing to do what they really are.
And that's what Elon Musk was talking about when he said it's weaponized empathy. He was talking
Mm.
about empathy, and it's used as a weapon.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, uh, just like for example, a lot of people are empathic or they feel for people, but
Hmm.
and then they're kind, which is fine, but true empathy literally is about understanding what that person's pain is and then going, wait a second, was I part of that pain? Because we're all of human form, right?
Mm.
Am I carrying the burdens? Am I co-creating with that person?
Hmm.
Empathic. And then you go further and you go, wait a second, I'm not diving into their pain. Let me remove the distortions
Hmm.
that is co-creating with that person because I
Hmm.
feel that person, right?
Yes.
So like, because I don't want to be in that pain either.
Hmm.
But then they've weaponized it to go, okay, you have to jump into the same, pool of pain that this person is in.
No.
Oh, well, why? You're just
Hmm.
doubling the frequencies
Hmm.
and then creating more pain,
Yes.
right? You have to move away. You have to that's again, it's not about not or helping people or not helping. It's literally about, am I co-creating with that person? If it is, what frequencies can I say delete,
Hmm.
move out of myself so I'm not co-creating, and then you feel stable, you feel good. That person feels good as
Hmm.
because you figured out for them how to solve their issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
True empathy, right?
Yes.
So,
Through empathy and yeah, through who you are. At the end, your essence is. bringing them up and not you down into them, but for them into your field, into your
Yes, absolutely.
consciousness. And Masati, how do you how do you teach this to, because when you talk to leaders, no, they're very mental, no, like you were saying, they're very outside. So how do you ignite in them
Mhm,
this curiosity
mhm,
to change themselves? Because many times they are up, no, and they like you were saying, they have a lot of success, outside success, and even if they're empty,
mhm.
we know many people that are empty inside, are sad, but in reality they show off many things because of trying to balance this emptiness, no? And
Right.
so how do you make them see
Mhm.
where they're standing and what's happening to them, and that they really can change,
Yeah,
that they really can recognize themselves?
right. Well, from my career path, I mean, over the past, say, 13, 14 years, I've been doing this. Again, I've developed the science of exponential intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
exponential intelligence meta science. At first, it was just random bits of information where I could help like transform people using frequencies. And I can
Mm-hmm.
talk a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Um, but then over time, it's developed, over, gosh, over 100,000 client sessions. No,
Mm-hmm.
not Tony Robbins or Joe Dispenza and all of people again, because because my frequency sessions are frequency based.
Mm-hmm.
They're time based, so they don't take a long time to shift and transform. So I can help a lot more people. But in the beginning, as I was expanding, there was, say, a lot of individuals that, say, started to heal themselves from my work.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
they would cure themselves of cancers, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't claim to cure anybody. I
No,
just claim
no.
to awaken their people,
No.
their self, and they go, shit, I don't need cancer. I can move into this dimension of time and space where this version of me does not have cancer or illness or disease or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, they would be again highly successful people, and that would be like CEOs and leaders, and they had come to, say, a dead end, usually with their child. Their child was sick. Okay, the child was sick, and it's like shit. We've gone to the best clinics in the world, because they've got the money, and my child is still sick or they're ill, and it's like shit. So what they do is like they hesitantly come to me as a last resort. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, we've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
This guy's just gonna, do a session on this person. And that's how my business has grown. So from those, I've gotten so much success that those CEOs back in the day, that was pushed to see me, they've told their friends. So my
Mm-hmm.
business literally hasn't grown from mass marketing, and hitting the pavement, and the hustle. It's literally grown through word of mouth, and one CEO tells another, one
Yeah.
leader tells the other, and now I've worked on I don't know, like leaders, political leaders, religious leaders,
Mm-hmm.
people who, even people from India, for example, that, they're leading ashrams and so on. Like, they've come to me to learn,
Mm-hmm.
on how to do it, say, properly without destroying themselves. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and now, like you were saying, people are awakening. People thought that good people that still have, say, that intelligence, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like you, the intelligence of what's real is still living in you, right? A
Yeah.
lot. But they thought success is going to do them well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
success is going to do them well, and it's like, gosh, you know what? Success is it didn't do me well. I'm still that lost person, but now with a lot of money, or now with a lot of power. You know,
Yeah.
uh, where do I go? So those people, like you said, the time is awakening, and they go, gosh, this guy can really find. So they get drawn towards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the key is people get drawn
Mm-hmm.
toward teacher,
Yeah.
ready, and a lot of people are ready. Hence, I mean, we really don't have to do like marketing and pushing out what's happening. So I think that's what's happening for you as well. You know?
Yes.
And yeah, and I think also too uh, is that I don't go towards the woo stuff because again, I call it the woo, like the religious aspects, the mystical wisdom, and all that, because they're not really based on science. Those people, right now, people are doing like psychedelics and they're
Mm-hmm.
this and that,
Yeah.
and they're doing it wrong too. Because if we were doing it right, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's not about science or religion or this spiritual movement. It's like, no, wait, guys, let's let's pull what was done right and then release what's done wrong. So, again, I've cleaned it up, validated it through, again, hundreds of thousands of, trials with real people,
Mm-hmm.
clinical trials, but real people,
Mm-hmm.
real results, and it's like, this is the science. This is the science. And it's not my science, it's the science of nature. Nature,
Mm-hmm.
same pattern. I've just distilled it so we can understand it conceptually. So it's a mixture of all that. And in leaders now actually see that. It's like, oh yeah, it makes more sense, you know, because people go, well, I'm logical. It's like, well, if your
Mm-hmm.
logic holes in it and exceptions to the rule, it's not so logical. It's not so scientific. It's not so religious because, God's word does not have holes, exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
Science at that high level does not have exceptions to the rule, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
life should not have exceptions to the rule.
No. No. And also, you just mentioned briefly, but the way when we see others that they have managed to become well to birth their potential, we are that inspires us, and we know that it's true, that it
Yeah,
can happen. And if
yeah,
it has happened in someone else, it can happen in you. It can happen in you as
yeah.
well.
Exactly. Yeah, so true. And you know, uh, people want to become healers, whether they're energy healers or doctors or psychologists or saving the planet, or they want to become successful to save the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, but in reality, they're broken
Mm-hmm.
and they think doing something good is gonna help. You know,
Yeah.
uh, and nature doesn't work that way.
No.
Exponential intelligence doesn't work that you know so what I've done basically is like I've literally say healed myself and figured my own stuff out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the best thing. Again, most people go, I'm broken, I'm gonna do psychology. For we have a
Yeah.
lot of psychologists that come and they train under us because,
Mm-hmm.
like, gosh, this field of psychology didn't really help me. you know and again, I'm not knocking any
No,
field
no,
down.
no, no.
But it's just that what's the purpose on why you're doing what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's because you're broken.
Mm-hmm.
You're broken, you want to fix yourself, right? You're poor, right? You're broken, right? You're mentally unstable. You don't like your life. Therefore, I'm gonna fix myself. And then that brokenness goes into whatever you think works, money, religion, spirituality. And that's why, it's gone downhill.
Yes. Okay.
So what I've done is like, and I've seen it. I went through the religious path or the spiritual path, and it's like, shit, that's a lot of messed up people. They didn't really heal them. They're good people, they're kind people, but it didn't really work out. Otherwise, there should be a religion or a spiritual valley that goes that really works,
Mm-hmm.
instantly, but there isn't any,
Mm-mm.
right?
No.
And I went through the success path, like making a lot of money. And it's like, well, shit, that didn't work either because there's a lot of messed up people that aging the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're no different than anybody else. They just do it with more style,
Yeah.
you know. So I go, well, what was the truth? And I wanted to know so bad. And the universe listens.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do you really want to know? And I go, yeah, I really, really want to know. and this is just like, okay. So in my early 20s, I had my first near-death experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's like, damn, and in that the first near death,
Yes.
it was a dissolution of my identity. It was
Mm-hmm.
a dissolution of who I thought I was, that was broke, that
Mm-hmm.
was incomplete, that was sick, that was, not good enough, that was all the pain that we as humans
Yeah.
carry. Our dissolution of like being in time and space. You
Mm-hmm.
know, again, that creates linearity. It's like, oh, that's how we are. So I actually say experience what we could be,
Mm-hmm.
in the first near death experience. And, I brought
Wow.
that back and like, oh, that's the way it's supposed to
Wow. Yeah.
be. Yeah. And, my second near death really allowed me to say the information or the science on how to not only heal my own life or transform my life, but
Mm-hmm.
then also help transform other people's life. Again, hundreds of thousands.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that my knowledge doesn't come from books, doesn't come from rehashed regurgitations of what's on the internet or what you can find on Chat GPT and all that.
No.
Because that's what's happening now.
No, but that you can feel it. It comes from you,
Yeah,
from
exactly.
within you. It can be
Thank you.
felt.
Thank you so much. And that's what we need. It's like
Yeah.
literally you become the knowledge, and that's what I teach.
Mm-hmm.
Like you become the knowledge of who you are, or basically you remember the knowledge of who you
Yes.
are. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Yeah.
Yes.
And then once you understand that, and that's what I help people do, leaders as
Mm-hmm.
well, they run from that frequency, and they don't burn out, they don't destroy, they don't,
No.
or anything like that. They're like true leaders
Yeah.
now.
You have this infinite battery. When you tap into who you are, now you have this infinite, well, the infinite potential that it comes through you, and since you're serving
Mhm.
based on who you are, on the experiences you had for others, and you're empowering and nourishing others. So I always say it's co-creation at the end. It's giving and receiving at the same time. You're nurturing and you're being nurtured. There's no end to that battery.
No, there's no end.
No, no.
Well, you're not time bound, so there's no,
Mm-mm.
yeah, there's no end, like you said. You just connect to that infinite source that you
Yes.
are, infinite battery, and it just perpetuates you. And as you age, you actually grow younger,
Mm-hmm.
youthful, you're vibrant. You don't have to decay, like society thinks.
Yes. No, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
it's really quite beautiful.
Yes. And it's you get younger because since you're tapping into your energy, limitless energy,
Mhm.
also, well, the frequency it's higher, and what you're projecting, it's another version of what you were before, which is very material, no? There's a I don't know if you call it light or something, but there's a frequency that's emanating. There is a magnetic field around you, you're
Mhm.
generating, that it's impacting
Yes,
every cell of your body and
true.
the people around you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, I put the science to that, where um, you know everything gets affected by, say, the vibe or the frequencies that's around us. Like when you walk into somebody's home, for example,
Mm-hmm.
a vibe, right?
Yes,
You get
yes.
somebody for the first time, and you get a vibe. It's not like what you're seeing. It's literally the frequencies that they are sending out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that gets mixed with how you see your identity and so on. And then, we create a picture of that person, in our mind. And um, so, but again, those pictures aren't really, really accurate because they've got filters on who they think they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
the person seeing that other person has filters. Um, like, say, a lot of marriages that end up in divorce.
Mm-hmm.
There's the real person deep inside that nobody sees, and then all the filters of their experience, right? And
Yes.
then the other person. So they're seeing, I mean, just think you've got a thick lens in front of you, and you're seeing that person through your bullshit basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the other person has their bullshit and then
Yes.
off behind.
Yes.
So what you're seeing together is not really the real person behind it. It's all their experiences, or basically all their genetic experiences and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And people are trying to solve this. They're trying
Mm-hmm.
to solve the effect, the after effect of what's happened. And what I do is basically go, no, let's go back to the core of who you
Mm-hmm.
are. Remove these filters of who
Yes.
you are and all that.
Yes.
Let's, and you can't rewrite the experience, obviously, because it's physically happened, right? It's etched in time,
Yeah.
but you can rewrite the takeoff of what happened. You can, put on a whole different meaning on what happened. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you remove the filters, and this is where couples, for example, see each other for the first time. Even
Yes.
married like 20, 30 years, it's like, oh my God, this is the real you.
Yes.
And then fall deeply in love the way they should be.
Yes. Yes. You can also say that um, the filter at the end, it's what we have in our minds, no, all the, like you were saying, pattern experience and everything. But when you are here standing, no, and sharing in the present moment without um, heart to heart, you're recognizing the other person as the person, well, as it is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, true. Yeah, again, you have a great ability to say see through the filters of
Mm-hmm.
people. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so, again, if you don't mind, and that's one of my, I guess, gifts that I've honed, and we all have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Through the near deaths that I've had, people come to me and they really don't know what their problem is, what their core,
Mm-hmm.
because they're trying to solve the surface level problem or the
Mm-hmm.
effect. They're trying to solve the effect, but I go, no, let's go deep inside the original
Mm-hmm.
structure. What your problem is, or where it originates. So, um, but like you have a beautiful, say, propensity to see the person for who they are, and then see the person or what they've become.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like two identities. If that makes sense
Mm-hmm.
for
Yes.
you. And then you go, oh my goodness. And then this is where you might feel sorry, Jeanette, for that. It's like, gosh, you've got so much potential, but why are
Yes.
you running this?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, so, and, and again, that's a great start for, what I teach, because again,
Mm-hmm.
um, and this is also, Jeanette, where people go, gosh, in order for me to change, I would have to take decades or fucking a lifetime, shift into something different. No, you really don't, because all you need to understand is just what one of your great gifts are is literally like, you see where they are, you see their potential.
Mm-hmm.
Point A, point B, just like Google
Mm-hmm.
Maps. But most people don't know that there's two versions of them living, you know, in their multidimensional, because
Mm-hmm.
again, millions of possibilities that exist within you.
Yes.
Like, even quantum science dictates or proves, like, yeah, there's millions of possibilities of who you could be.
Yes.
So when you tap into the potential, and that's what I do, is like, oh, you're here, let's give you a roadmap, just like entering in your coordinates on Google Maps. It's like, hey, you know what? I want to go to point B, wherever point B is,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and then Google Map asks you, it's like, hey, where are you now? People don't know where they are because they lie
Yeah.
to themselves. It's like, oh, I'm wealthy. I made this. I helped, 100 people today, whatever it is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like, where are you frequency wise? Where are you in dimensions of time and space?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, oh, I'm here. I want to be in this frequency, in this dimension of time and space. And literally, you create it like a Google Maps where it's like, yeah, you're point A, let's get you to point B. And again, you don't have, because you're not a time bound being, you can literally transpose yourself into this reality. And this is where people literally heal themselves of, say, the craziest diseases in a very short period of time,
Yes.
or they become super successful, or, again, they heal themselves from heartache, or they're not suicidal anymore. It's like you can change just like that.
Yes. Yes. I love that. And I can continue co-creating with you a lot, and many more hours. But well, I know I will do so in the future with you. And I really appreciate you having joined me in co-creation here in the podcast, and
Thank you.
having been able to meet you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
It's a very beautiful and powerful energy you have, that I'm learning from you, and I appreciate it a lot. And yes, I'm honored. Thank you so much, Masati.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much.